how many Americans do you think would be willing to give up personal freedoms for a better life? Because that's really the trade-off. So if you can guarantee that going down this third term of Trump, maybe a fourth term of Trump, maybe some sort of passing of lineage to another Trump, if that would give you more safety, if that would increase the education system, if that would increase the economy because there's stability, if that would make you stronger on the world stage, if that would close the borders, if it would solve over the time all the things that we kind of wanted to change. But the trade-off is that you live in a more surveilled society because you can't do these things without more surveillance. You can't have more safety without more surveillance. If you have to have a less freedom of speech society because you can't have dissenters everywhere, like you have a goal you want to achieve.
Yeah.
If it meant that you had to give up some of your civil liberties, but at the end of the day, you would have a better life. How many people do you think would actually make that trade-off consciously?
That's the key word, consciously. If you left it up without the qualifier of consciously, I'd say 98% would do it unconsciously. Like they would just accept it as this is the next flavor, this is the next thing that I got to do. They told me to yield, I yielded. They told me to put my mask on, I put my mask on. They told me to distance myself 6 feet. They told me to inject myself with poison. Like, yes, Amasa, check in, SAR. Like, I did it. Yes, I don't like the fact that they're doing this again, but you know what, man? I really need to watch the WNBA. It's so important. They don't allow me to watch, the Reese girl talk about how she's so awesome and that she's the best shit since sliced bread. Like, I'm not going to feel like I have access to the important things in my life. WNBA is really important to me, Matt, and I'm willing and accepting of these new provisions so that I can do that. Like that's 98% of people. Now, you say consciously.
Correct. Because that's the thing, right? In America, we're given at least this illusion of choice, that we actually have a say in how the country runs, the direction in which it goes. We're told that constantly, that our voice matters.
Wrong, SAR.
If that's true, then we should at least be given the conscious choice to make the shift. If they were to make these changes and take away our choice, then we're essentially taken over.
Yes.
Should we be given the choice? Or for the greater good, because there's a lot of collateral damage, and we've accepted that in big change, a certain amount of collateral damage is acceptable. Is it acceptable?
Well, the answer is no. It's not acceptable to just have your government take over things and just not detail them out or give people the foreknowledge of that it's going to happen. So the short answer is no. But would it be the right thing to do?
Because there's two options, right?
I think yeah.
If you want to improve the country at scale, you either have to choose to give up your freedoms in order to make systematic change, or you have to let the people in charge take the power and let them force the change.
Yeah.
But regardless, in order for there to be change at scale, because when we're talking about the United States, it's too big of a country hey, let's just make micro changes over time. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Do you want the choice?
No, you don't.
Because it wouldn't happen?
It wouldn't happen. No, there'd be too much blowback.
So we're okay with Trump saying, we're going to do a third term. And then this is what it is. Like, I'm sorry, guys. I understand you guys are upset, but you have no choice because for the greater good of the country, yes, there is collateral damage. We are going to deport some of the wrong people. We're going to imprison the wrong people. Yes, you're going to lose your freedoms. Yes, you're going to lose your freedom of speech. Yes, you're going to lose your freedom of assembly. Yes, possibly even your pursuit of happiness. But one generation later, you're going to thank us because we made it better for future generations.
But they wouldn't say all that.
Just a quick break before this video continues. If you haven't signed up for Soju yet, go check it out, soj.oo. It's a social discussion platform that we've created. That's where the community is hanging out. Definitely worth checking out, soj.oo. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, do it now. Of course, they're not going to say it, but that's
They would say,
underlying
you're
of all
going
of
to
it.
own nothing and be happy about it, right? Is
Correct.
what they're going to say. But let's do a simple scenario. Do we want industry to come back to America? Yes. Do we want to be self-sustainable when it comes to food? Yes. Do we want our educational system to be the best in the world? Yes. Do we want our social services for those who need social services, like the elderly? Do we want to have the best social services on the planet? Yes. Do we want to have opportunity and access to opportunity for assertive and initiative individuals, initiative individuals who want to grow a career or build a family or do well and be successful in life? Yes. All 5 of these, yes. So if Trump were to say, I'm going to take over farming and make sure that we are self-sustainable, we're going to have the best organic food ever, I'd say yes, more SAR, please. We're going to get rid of the Department of Education. I think we're already doing that, aren't we? I think we're already doing that, right? Get rid of that. And let's make the best educational system on the world. Yes, do more of that, sir. Let's get like if you were to go down this list that I just went through, and you say we're going to do all of this, and these are the means and the ways that we're going to do it. Take me over harder, Daddy. Take me over harder.
But isn't that what so,
why not? Why not?
So that's what Trump is essentially doing.
Why not? Take me over harder, Daddy.
And he is making deals with the technology companies instead of fighting with them. Let's let them do their thing. Let's grow them out, make them bigger. Yes, and it means more surveillance, but it is what it is. We're trying to hit a bigger, larger goal. Let's work with different countries. Let's work with China, and instead of making them our adversary, let's just make all our deals, because why should we fight with them? We should just be constantly growing. Let's forget about the negatives of having Israel around too much. They actually own a lot of the banking. They own a lot of the media. They own a lot of these things. Why should we fight them? Let's just accommodate everything that they want, because for the greater goal of moving the United States forward, there's probably a value there. You're saying all that is okay?
No. I disagree with the means and the ways. I agree with the outcome, which is better manufacturing, better infrastructure, better roads, better farm, better education.
Which I believe we'll get.
We want. But when you say let's get better farms, better infrastructure, better education, better opportunities for Americans, and the means in which we do that is China.
And Israel.
I would say no, SAR. No, SAR.
But those are the cards we have on the table. These are the things that these countries individually they're high competency areas. Israel is very good at banking, surveillance, and media. Okay. China is extremely good at technology, manufacturing, and pumping out product at scale at a very fast rate.
And for cheap.
So there is value in both of those alliances.
Yes.
The Middle East, places like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, they are very good at getting us the resources and minerals that we need, which is why we see the huge strategic alliance over there. We are gathering the pieces to make America great again. But I don't know. Well, is that the only way to make this happen?
Man, I mean, we're talking about world building here. Not that you would know anything about that, Matt. Anyway, but for those in the room who have any knowledge about world building, you have to include global trade. You have to include global economic policies and considerations and infrastructure and supply chains and all of that stuff. Yes, but can we lessen the dependency on these other countries? I think, in my ignorant view, Matt, absolutely. I think America has all the minerals, all the oil, all the manpower, all the ingenuity, all of the creativity in America as it stands today. Can I say something that sounds hard? It'll sound like this. Close the borders, nobody else gets in. We got everything we need. Can we make agreements, tariffs, trade agreements where it's like China, we're going to leverage you heavily. Israel, we're going to leverage you heavily. Japan, right? Singapore, Europe, we need those BMWs, right? Like, we're going to leverage you to grow us, but do not be deceived. We are going to phase you out.
Well,
I think that would be, if Trump were to say, we're going to phase out our dependence on all of these other countries, I'd say, take me over harder, SAR. Yes. for the greater good of America. Now, I hope that you keep your strategies and tactics of how you're going to do that transparent, because what we've seen before is the whole, here's the bag, I'll let you hold the bag, here's the promise that comes with the bag, and the promise ends up being nothing, and you end up just holding the bag, right? We said we're going to do X, but we're not going to do it.
So these are, first, these are two separate discussions, I think. One is this idea of benevolent dictatorship and a third Trump presidency okay? Versus, should we do it by engaging with the outside world, or should we do it by engaging on the inside world? And I don't know if that changes the argument for anybody, actually. Because if you say, okay, I don't mind the idea of benevolent dictatorship, because that's a third term would actually be the precursor to that, right? He's not leaving. If you allow for a third, he could do a fourth, fifth.
Israel's done it, right?
Correct. Netanyahu's been around forever.
Yeah, the Ukraine guy's done it recently, right? He didn't hold elections.
Correct. So again, there is precedence for this. If you were to do it, if you say, okay, I'm okay with having a longer term leadership in order for there to be some sort of continuity, in order for the United States administration to create longer term plans, I could see the argument. And then it becomes, okay, if you're going to allow that to happen, then do we do it by doing externally, which is what Trump is currently doing, versus do you want it to be interior only?
I think it should be more interior. We have the skills. We have some of the most ingenious people. They're not incentivized appropriately.
Okay.
They're not paid appropriately, right? They go all into defense, areas where they can make $500,000 a year. Their system's broken from an incentive issue. There's not enough incentive.
If Trump wants to do a third term, then in order to even make the argument, he would have to show progress. Because if during his term there's not enough progress in the improvement of American society and American economy and improvement of the country in general, then no one's even going to entertain that third term.
He has to go Weimar Republic levels of change.
But
there was an Austrian painter who turned his country around in like 3.5 years.
But he cannot, I don't believe, make enough change within the United States if he stayed America only, because the systems aren't built for it. There's not enough cash going around.
He's getting stonewalled on everything he wants to do anyway. All these signatures, all these things that he's saying, right? I mean, they can all get stonewalled through government.
And they're just executive orders. Executive orders is more like, hey, this is what the government wants to do. Yeah. It's not actual law.
And you saw the Jon Stewart video of him realizing that how much waste. You saw that video of him going like, oh. Will, did you see that video? So it recently came out that Jon Stewart finally realized that the Democrats are truly the problem. And he had a guest on that was essentially TLDR. Long story short, the guest was showing him how inefficient our government is. And Jon Stewart was like, no wonder we're bleeding money everywhere. Like,
it was a female guest, right?
No, it was a male guest.
Oh, no. Okay, maybe.
Guy with glasses. He looked like
what is gender anyway?
Yeah, he looked like a Yudin. Anyway, so they're both Udins anyway. The point is that we have so much waste, and our government as it stands. Here's the problem: Trump can't just announce he's going to go dictator. He has to just do it, because if he announces it, then our legal system and the judiciary branch and our legislative branch and all that stuff would just cockblock him no end.
Okay,
he literally has to coup himself into it. If
you were Trump and you were like, I'm going to go full dictator.
Yeah.
What would that actually look like? Thanks for watching the clip. If you want to see the full episode, click here. If you want to see more clips, click here.